Good morning, respected judges, lecturers, teachers, and fellow friends. I think most students today can agree on one thing. Focusing on studies has become much harder compared to before, especially when our phones are constantly beside us almost every hour of the day. Even when I sit down with the intention to finish an assignment, I still find myself checking TikTok, replying to WhatsApp messages, opening Telegram groups, or scrolling to Instagram without even planning to do it. Sometimes it happens so automatically that I only realize it after wasting 20 or 30 minutes. As an IPG student, I notice this especially during busy weeks when assignments, presentations, and group discussions start happening at the same time. Every subject has its own WhatsApp or Telegram group, lecturers send announcements online, classmates ask questions in the chat, and our phones keep vibrating throughout the day. At first, we tell ourselves we are opening our phones for educational purposes, maybe to check class information, maybe to download notes, or maybe to reply to group members. But somehow, 5 minutes later, we are already watching random videos that have absolutely nothing to do with our academics. And somehow, those videos always appear at the wrong time. When we are free, nothing interesting appears. But the moment we start studying, suddenly TikTok decides to show the most entertaining videos ever created. And I think many students today can relate to this situation. That is why today I would like to talk about the challenges of maintaining focus in the digital age, especially in education and student life. Before I discuss about the challenges, I think we first need to understand what the term digital age actually means. The digital age refers to the modern era where technology and the internet have become part of almost every aspect of our life. In education, technology has completely changed the way students live. Today, students no longer depend only on textbooks or classroom discussions. We attend online classes, prepare presentations using Canva, search for information online, communicate through digital platforms, and use educational applications to help us study more effectively. Even during the pandemic, technology became the main reason education could continue. Without technology, many students would have lost access to learning completely. So, there is no doubt that technology brings many benefits to education. In fact, most of us probably cannot survive student life without it anymore. Imagine if tomorrow all Wi Fi suddenly disappeared from IPG. I think the real emergency would not even be academics anymore. It would be students running around asking, "Excuse me, does anyone have a hotspot?" That is how dependent we have become on digital technology today. However, while technology improves access to education, it also creates a new challenge, which is maintaining our focus. Because the same device we use for studying is also the same device distracting us. I remember one night last semester when I planned to finish an assignment early. For once, I was feeling motivated. I prepared snacks, I opened my laptop, I even cleaned my table first because somehow students believe cleaning the study table automatically increases intelligence. Then my phone lit up with one notification. Just one. I picked it up to reply quickly. But after that, I started scrolling through TikTok for almost 2 hours without realizing it. And the scary part is, I was fully aware that I should stop scrolling, but I still continued. At one point, I was watching videos about productivity while actively avoiding my own work, which honestly feels a little ironic. When I finally look back at my unfinished assignment, I feel stressed because I know I had wasted so much time. And I think situations like this happen to many students today. Not because students do not care about education, but because our attention is constantly competing with digital distractions. One major challenge in education today is that students are exposed to too much information all the time. The moment we wake up, we already start checking notifications. Then, throughout the day, we move from one screen to another. Laptop screens during lectures, phone screens during breaks, tablet screens for notes, and social media before sleeping. Even while eating, many of us still scroll through our phones. At this point, silence feels unfamiliar. Our brains rarely get the opportunity to rest completely. As a result, Concentrating during lectures or while studying becomes more difficult. Sometimes during class, I generally try to focus on what the lecturer is explaining, but the moment my phone vibrates, my attention immediately shifts. Even if the notification is not important, I still feel the urge to check it. Sometimes it is just a message saying class cancelled, and suddenly everybody becomes fully focused. Honestly, I have never seen students reply faster than when a lecturer says class is cancelled. So, this situation also affects the quality of learning. Students may spend hours studying but still struggle to fully understand what they learn because their focus keeps breaking. For example, reading one chapter continuously for an hour used to feel normal. Now, after reading a few paragraphs, many students immediately feel the urge to check their phones. Small interruptions may not seem serious, but when they happen repeatedly, they affect concentration, memory, and productivity. In education, focus is extremely important because learning requires patience and deep thinking. Without focus, students may memorize information temporarily but fail to truly understand it. And as future educators, I think this is something we should pay attention to. Because one day, we may teach students who grow up in an even more distracting digital environment than ours. Another issue is that social media has changed the way students view productivity and academic success. Every day, we see videos of students waking up at 5 a.m., studying for long hours, keeping perfect notes, drinking aesthetically designed coffee, and somehow managing their lives perfectly. Meanwhile, real student life usually looks very different. Sometimes our notes are messy. Sometimes we promise ourselves to start assignments early and then start panicking one day before submission. And sometimes we open our laptops confidently only to spend 30 minutes choosing a song playlist first. And suddenly, studying becomes secondary. I think many students laugh at this because we know it is true. But at the same time, these habits slowly affect discipline and focus. Many students start feeling guilty for not being productive enough compared to people online. But social media only shows highlights, not reality. Nobody uploads videos of themselves staring at an assignment question for 40 minutes without understanding anything. That is the real student experience. And I also think maintaining focus today is not only an academic issue, but also a mental and emotional challenge. Sometimes students are not distracted because they are lazy. Sometimes they are mentally exhausted, balancing assignments, presentations, friendships, family pressure, and personal struggles can become very overwhelming. And when students feel stressed, social media often becomes an escape. For a few minutes, scrolling helps us avoid pressure. But afterward, the assignments are still waiting for us. Except now the deadline is closer and the panic becomes stronger. I think every student today are very familiar with the phrase, I work better under pressure. But honestly, sometimes it is not productivity. Sometimes it is a survival focus. At the same time, I also believe every student has different ways of focusing. Some students study better in silence. Some prefer listening to music while studying because it helps them concentrate. Some students focus better at night, while others prefer early mornings. Personally, I realize that I cannot focus properly when my phone is next to me. Even one notification can completely interrupt my concentration. So I started placing my phone far away while studying, and surprisingly, it helped me become more productive. I also learned that forcing myself to study for many hours continuously does not work for me. Shorter study sessions with small breaks are much more effective. This made me realize that education is not only about studying harder, it is also about understanding how we learn best as individuals. And I think this is important for educators to understand too. Not every students not every student learns the same way. Some students struggle silently with focus and attention, even though they are trying their best. Despite all these challenges, I do not think technology should be blamed completely. Technology has also improved education in many ways. Students can access learning materials more easily, attend online classes, watch educational videos, and explore knowledge beyond the classroom. Sometimes, when students do not understand topics taught during lectures, they search online for additional explanations and learn independently. That is actually something positive. As future educators, I think it is important for us to learn how to use technology wisely instead of depending on it too much. Because technology should support education, not destroy student ability to focus. In conclusion, I believe schools and educational institutions play an important role in helping students manage digital distraction because education today should not focus only on academic achievement, but students should also be taught about digital discipline, time management, and healthy technology habits. So I hope every student can manage their time wisely in this digital era. Thank you.